Alright guys, so here's a quick instructional video just going over the solutions to your homework for the practice with 30, 60, 90. So in the directions it says solve for x and y. If you have a solution involving a radical, please also write that solution around to the nearest hundredth. So again, you're going to need a calculator here just to help us with that segment of the directions, okay? You're going to notice on these problems I actually have them highlighted based on which side they're giving you, right? So for numbers 1 and 2, they give us the short leg, which we know is just some number represented as x. For 3 and 4, they give us the hypotenuse, which is technically double whatever the short leg is. And then for 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, they give us the long leg. So just to kind of show you guys the similarities of how solving for 1 and 2 are going to be the same, solving for 3 and 4 are going to be the same, and then 5 through 9 will also be the same, okay? So for numbers 1 and 2, our easiest case, anytime they give us the short leg, right, we know that our hypotenuse is always going to be double that, right? So in this case, y is going to be 10 centimeters, and then our long leg is just the short leg times root 3. So that means x is going to be 5 radical 3 centimeters. If I go ahead and find that on my calculator quick, so I'm going to type in 3, the radical symbol, which gives us 1.73, and then times 5 to give us 8.66 centimeters. So 8.66 centimeters. Okay, 1, 2. All right, for number 2, so pretty similar again. They're giving me my short leg to find my hypotenuse. I need to double this or multiply it by 2. When you're doubling the short leg or multiplying it by 2 and you have a radical in your short leg, you're only multiplying by 2 or doubling that outside number. So y should be 8, and you're going to keep that as radical 2 centimeters, okay? For my calculator quickly, so I'm going to type in the 2, the radical symbol, 1.41, and then times 8, it's going to give me 11.31. So 11.31 centimeters. And then when I take my short leg of 4 root 2, again, all I have to do is multiply by radical 3 to get my long leg. So when I do 4 radical 2 times radical 3, that's going to give me 4 radical 6 centimeters. And I can't simplify 4 radical 6, right? Because 6 is technically... the only factors are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3, and none of those are perfect squares. Okay, so again, quickly in my calculator, I'm going to type in the 6, take the square root of that, get 2.45, and then multiply by 4. And that should give me 9 point, let's say 80. So that's equal to 9.80 centimeters. So solution there and solution there. Okay. Now for 3 and 4, they're giving us the hypotenuse. So first thing I want to figure out is, okay, when they give me the hypotenuse, how can I now work backwards and solve for the short leg? So when we did short leg to hypotenuse for 1 and 2, we multiplied by 2. So now hypotenuse to short leg, we need to divide by 2. So simply 12 divided by 2 means y is 6 centimeters, and then once again going from short leg to long leg, we're just multiplying by radical 3. So x is going to be equal to 6 radical 3 centimeters. In my calculator, I'm going to type in the 6, take the square root of that. Oh, nope, wrong number, sorry. I want to take the square root of 3, so 3, take the square root of that, and then multiply by 6 to get 10.39 centimeters. All right, so I'm going to circle that and then circle that. All right, for number 4, so once again, going from hypotenuse to short leg, right, because I got to figure out what my short leg is first before I figure out the long leg. So again, I'm just going to divide this by 2 or cut it in half. The only number I'm going to be dividing by 2 is that 6 out front, right? I'm not going to touch that radical 6. So 6 divided by 2 is going to give me 3, and then I carry the root 6. So again, using my calculator, find the square root of 6 first, so 6 square root, and then multiply it by 3 to get 7.35 centimeters. And then going from short leg to long leg, again, I'm just multiplying by root 3. So be careful here. When I do 3 radical 6 times radical 3, and I multiply my radicals, I'm left with 3 radical 18. Now 18 is a number where one of the factors is a perfect square. So yes, you guys want to fully simplify when you can. So if I break down radical 18, that gives me radical 9 times radical 2 with that 3 out front, right? I know the square root of 9 is just going to give me a 3. So let me carry on my work over here. So I'm going to have 3 times, that square root of 9 gave me a whole number of 3, followed by root 2. 3 times 3 is going to give me 9, and then I'm left over with a root 2. So x is going to be 9 root 2 centimeters. And again, finding that in my calculator, I'm going to take the square root of 2 and then multiply it times 9 to give us 12.73. So 12.73 centimeters. Okay. All right, for my last 5 here, again, they're giving us the long leg, so I got to work backwards to find the short leg first before the hypotenuse. So if I went from short leg to long leg in all these examples by multiplying by radical 3, we now know going from long leg to short leg, we need to divide by radical 3. So 5's a nice easy case, right? I'm going to take 3 root 3 divided by radical 3. Nice for us, those radical 3's cancel, and I get y is equal to 3 centimeters. Short leg to hypotenuse, I just double it, so that means x is going to be 6 centimeters. Okay. For number 6, now they're giving us the long leg, and again, in terms of a radical, but it's not radical 3 where they can just cancel out. But still, I'm just going to go ahead and divide by radical 3. So when I simplify radical 6 divided by radical 3, I'm going to keep that 7 up front. Radical 6 divided by radical 3 will give me a radical 2. So y is 7 radical 2 centimeters. And again, short leg to hypotenuse, I am just doubling this value here. The only number I'm going to double or multiply by 2 is that 7 out front. So x should be 14 radical 2 centimeters, okay? And I'm going to hold off, guys, for now in terms of putting your answers around the nearest hundredth. I think you guys have the picture in terms of how to do it. I just want to make this video as concise and short as possible for you guys, all right? So I'm going to keep my answers here as y is equal to 7 root 2 centimeters and x is equal to 14 root centimeters, okay? All right, for my last 3 here, now notice my long leg is now a whole number, right? And you guys have a ton of practice on how to rationalize and figure out what the short leg is based on that. So if I go ahead and I know going from my long leg to short leg, I need to divide by root 3. Okay, if you guys remember the shortcut, you can go ahead and do the shortcut. For those of you who don't remember the shortcut and like to actually rationalize, that means I'm just going to take 18 divided by radical 3. To get rid of that radical 3 down there, I need to take that number and multiply it both top and bottom, right? So radical 3 times radical 3 is just going to give me a whole number of 3, and 18 times radical 3 is just 18 radical 3. Now again, I do 18 divided by 3 to simplify. That's going to give me 6, once again followed by that root 3. So that means y is going to be 6 root 3 centimeters. Okay, and again, short leg to hypotenuse, all I'm going to be doing is doubling that outside number. So x should be 12 root 3 centimeters, okay? And what I'm noticing right now, guys, my apologies, I didn't fill in all the angles for the other problems. Let me go ahead and just quickly fill those in. So 30, 60, 30, 60, 30, 60. My apologies for that. Okay, for your last 2, all right, so again, I have to take that long leg to figure out the short leg. Again, another repetitive process, just divide by root 3. So 10 divided by root 3, I'll rationalize, multiply by radical 3 top and bottom. Radical 3 times radical 3 gives me radical 9, or the square root of 9, which again is just going to give us a whole number of 3. And then 10 times root 3, I'm just going to get 10 root 3. You guys can keep your answer as this if you want. If you actually divide out the 10 and the 3, you're going to get 3.3 repeating, which kind of looks messy. So if you guys just want to keep your answer as 10 root 3 divided by 3 centimeters, okay, that's fine. And then again, short leg to hypotenuse, we are just going to double this number. In terms of this fraction here, guys, the only number you are doubling is going to be that number in front of the radical. You're not going to touch the radical 3, and you're not going to touch the denominator. Okay, so that's going to turn to 20 radical 3 divided by 3 centimeters. All right, last 2, once again, they're giving us the long leg, so to figure out my short leg, we are dividing by root 3. So when I do 25 divided by root 3, I go ahead and rationalize, get rid of that radical 3 in the denominator by multiplying denominator and numerator by radical 3. Okay, so the radical 3 times radical 3 gives me that whole number of 3, and then in the numerator, I'm left with 25 root 3. Once again, if you divide these, you're going to kind of get a not nice number, so you guys can just keep your answer as a fraction. That's totally fine. So y is equal to 25 root 3 divided by 3 centimeters. And once again, now to find the hypotenuse, I am just going to double this number. The only number you guys are technically doubling is that number in front of the radical 3. So x should be 50 radical 3 divided by 3 centimeters.